Reviews, the biggest news, the what's new, and the who's who. Welcome to the Daily Gamer podcast with Joe Mango and James.
Welcome to the Daily Gamer podcast number 7. We were just saying we're not sure if it was 6 or 7. Then we realised, well, yes, we are.
It's still single figures.
We are on 7. Yeah, come on. Before we know it, we'll be like podcast number 57.
58, yeah.
But anyway, if you don't know, here at the Daily Gamer podcast, we just talk pretty much everything gaming. James does some gaming new releases,
some news.
Yeah, we have some news. I do a top 5, bit of everything really. Yeah. And what we really like doing is getting a guest on every single week. And we have got Luciano from Riot Games.
Whee!
I am so excited to have you here.
Hello, I'm actually very excited to be here as well. It's been a while since I've done a podcast, so thank you for having me.
Oh, honestly, it is a pleasure. We've been excited. As soon as we got that, yes, someone from Riot Games is going to come and chat to us. Every person that's been on the podcast, we've got Riot Games coming soon. We've been excited to.
You're gonna make me all blush now.
No, we're big fans, and me more than James. I do play League of Legends and Valorant. They're probably the 2 games I play most of all at the moment. Anyway, James, I think he's just bad at FPS, so he says, "Oh, I don't like them."
That's not my.
But he's just bad at them.
I 100% get you.
Yeah,
I pretend to know how to play FPS games. I've working for the company. I work on the game, and I'm still hard stuck silver. So I totally get you.
Yeah,
single player games is also a good.
Yeah, I'm a bit slower now, honestly, as well. I was fast.
We're getting old, man. We're getting old.
Yeah. I do feel that. All right, so what we like to do, Luciano, every time we have a guest on, to start with, before we ask you all the hard interview questions, we like to do a little topic, a light, nice little topic. Today, we're going to talk about esports because, Riot Games has 2 of the biggest esports games in the world, which is awesome. But I thought we could do a little history of esports, and I'm going to start it off. Okay, so I didn't know this until I Googled it today, to be honest with you. But the first ever esports tournament was actually in 1972 at Stanford University. They hosted the Intergalactic Space War Olympics with the game Space War, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Never knew that before, but I thought that was amazing. What was the first thing you remember playing that was esports related or watching?
Or even competitive, yeah.
I mean, competitive, to be quite honest, competitive, it was like we made up our own competitive kind of scenario. I remember it was me and my neighbor. So, we had the Atari back then, and there was this game that's I don't even remember. It's called Pong. It's like these 2 sticks that just go back and forth. And you had that 1 stick joystick and so we created, me and his name was Roy. I haven't seen him in ages. So he was my childhood friend. And we created our own competitive scene around Pong. So we started bringing all the kids from the neighborhood, and we would set it up on that grandpa TV, and we just sit together and we'd be going, doing our own brackets, and we'll invent our own rules as we go. And for me, this was really the first ever kind of modern age esports experience because it was intense, and at that time, this game was a big hit. So that was my first ever competitive experience. But then, when I moved countries, I got introduced to the fighting games, to the whole fighting game community, and then I started seeing, the whole arcades and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Tekken. And I think the first ever official kind of tournament I played with was Tekken.
Okay.
And I remember back then you'd have characters like Paul and Yoshimitsu, and it's the moves were we were such amateurs in this region as well, so we didn't have that complex kind of tech and combos that you'd see either in the US or in Japan. So it'll be like back X or whatever, or square, and Paul would do that fiery fist, and I ended up winning the whole tournament just spamming that.
Wow, nice.
But yeah, that I was very, very young then, so that was my first ever competitive experience, personally.
Wow. Well, from my little research earlier, Street Fighter 2 had some big competitive tournaments worldwide in 1991, so that was obviously pretty big. Before that, though, in the 80s, they had a Space Invaders competition, which was the first big scale one that had 10,000 people, and all they had to do was who could get the highest score.
Yep.
I love that. It's so simple. It's just like play Space Invaders. Whoever gets the highest score wins. A little bit more complicated nowadays.
Yeah, but that was the culture though back then. Like especially the whole arcade culture. It wasn't necessarily 1v1 or 5v5 or 3v5. Like people would go into these arcade stores and there'd be the high scoreboard on the machine, and they'd be competing there, and they still till they get all the way to the top of the of the machine.
Yeah.
So that was the mentality, and then
They just spend hours and hours and hours in there.
yeah, absolutely.
And it became a hangout culture because everyone was there.
It never really came to our region, this whole arcade culture, like properly. It was a very Western or Far Eastern kind of thing, but the ripples did reach here. Like you were talking about Street Fighter. There's a famous esports moment, I think, that revolutionized what esports is, which was with Street Fighter itself at EVO.
Yeah, we talked
Evo
about
Movement
that.
37.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
A comeback involving a parry of 15 consecutive hits with 1 pixel of health left, and he came back and won.
You're prepared.
I am prepared.
You're prepared. Wow, I'm impressed.
Well, to be honest with you, that is like my earliest memory I can think of when I think of esports. I think of that clip, which actually wasn't that long ago. It was in 2004.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it feels like it was way longer. But
it does.
I was born in 94, so I was like 10 around that time. So for a 10-year-old, you see that clip come out, you're like pretty excited about that.
It is,
Yeah.
and that ripple really affected the whole world and the whole perception of what a hype moment truly is. And you're talking about like YouTube was not really a thing back then.
Yeah.
So it managed to make the same amount of noise just from word of mouth or ICQ or MSN or whatever things we were using back then.
Yeah.
And it was great. Justin Wong and Daigo ended up becoming, like some of the
Celebrities.
some of the best people in esports, and,
Yeah.
and they're still competing, by the way, and kicking people's
That's so cool.
That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I mean, I actually sometimes, when you're just kind of going on a little internet trawl through YouTube, I do occasionally just type in that and watch it again, because you get shivers every time you watch that moment. Not just of what he managed to do, which was, insanely hard. Like the percentage of someone actually pulling that off is incredible if you don't know, but just the audience reaction of how it was coming up, and you could hear like the
It's the build up,
and it just like erupted, and that was just so it wasn't just that he did it earlier on, it was like that was the end of it. That was like the end of the whole tournament. He had 1 bit of health left, 1 hit he would have died, and he blocked it all, and it was like you couldn't tell that story in a movie better, you know what I mean?
And
it was perfect.
And funny enough, like not many people know this. I mean, like my close friends know this, but my bread and butter, kind of like my whole esports, my love for esports is in the FGC, in the fighting game community. That's what my previous company was an esports team, and that's what I built it around, which was fighting games. Big Bird, that's in Abu Dhabi, was like a pro player who got second in Evo or Tekken Masters in Bahrain. And the reason I fell in love with the community, because it's like the skateboarders of gaming, like the rebels, the graffiti,
cool dudes.
Exactly, and it's so much fun, and it's so raw, and it's just the hype is real. Every single moment that you're there watching these people play, watching them on the big stage, like I got goosebumps just telling the story.
Wow.
It's just unlike anything else, and that hype you get from it is just insane.
Yeah. I have a question for you both. Do you know what year was the first online tournament? And extra points if you can tell me the game. Now, again, I could be wrong, but this is what my Googling has come up with today.
So what game?
So what game and what year?
Game and year online.
Ooh.
I would say StarCraft.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Online. I know that StarCraft esport was huge.
I'll give you a clue. It was a 4-player team deathmatch online.
Oh, Quake.
Ooh, close. Quake was the second one.
Half-Life.
In 1993, it was Doom.
Doom went online.
Apparently so.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought Doom was a strict single-player
They
game.
did an online tournament in 1993, and apparently that was the first one. Again, I just found that on one source, so I could be wrong.
Dr. Google knows
You
it,
might,
right?
you may
There
be
you go.
right. It was an article that I was reading, which makes it sound better, I think, saying it was an article. It says that Quake did their first big tournament with 2,000 people online in 1997.
Yeah, Quake was big. I remember. I mean, you played Quake.
I did. Yeah,
Quake was massive. Massive.
Well,
Quake 3 Arena was the big one.
Yeah,
that took off.
Well, I have two older brothers who are 10 and 13 years older than me. So as I grew up, I saw them playing the like Doom and Quake, and it was a little bit too much for me at the time. But I could watch them, and it was fine. But I do have a lot of memories for them, but not necessarily playing, but like watching my brothers compete and stuff like that, which is still a nice memory to have of gaming. And then the year 2000 was the first time that esports competitions started to actually be televised.
Okay.
Which is cool. So 22 years ago. So thinking about it only started to get televised 22 years ago, and where it's at now, it's pretty crazy.
What channels do you think it was on?
I don't know. I think
that was Korea, I would assume, right? Like
so
South Korea.
Yeah.
It said it was mainly in South Korea, but then the UK and other parts of Europe were doing it as well. But South Korea, it said, was the main one.
South Korea is ahead of everybody else when it comes to esports. It's a national thing there. It's on every single TV channel. It's like even the players. The players are like immortalized. It's quite impressive. Really.
No, I actually was watching the Valorant, the last Masters, which was in
the last one, Turkey.
In Turkey, yeah. So I was watching that one, and the South Korean team, their fans behind them are just incredible. Because they like cut to showing where the fans are in their hometown watching these players, and there's like tens of thousands of people like watching these guys and just so into it. You know, every kill, every death. Oh yeah. You know, it's so crazy the passion these guys have for these 5 dudes playing a game. It's amazing.
It's good that you mentioned this because it shows you different fandom behavior in every region. Like South Korea, it's part of their culture. It's like. It's on national TV, so that fandom creation tends to start become natural. You know, like we got a team. You know, it's like watching football or basketball. You got a Korean team playing. We're gonna cheer for it.
Yeah.
You move out to South America, for instance. It's the numbers are insane. Like they come in thousands, hundreds of thousands, just watching on a stadium.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not necessarily for the love of the game. That's just national pride, like patriotism. It's like
and they won.
It's something we're good at. Let's like get behind them.
Exactly.
Was it the Brazilian team that won this one?
Champions.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was the Brazilian team, right? Because they came. So the last one before that was in Copenhagen, which I think they came second or third, but they played really well. They came like second or third. I can't remember exactly which. And then this one they came and won it. And it was pretty crazy. But like you said, their fans behind them as well was... Yeah, okay, I like that. So they're not necessarily like, you know, keen on the game itself, but they just are like, Brazil are playing and they're doing really well. Let's cheer for them kind of thing.
Yeah, no, fandom has come a long way as well when it comes to esports.
Well, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we want, you know. And that's what we try to do as Riot Games. Is like, how can we unleash fandom across our games and not necessarily within... only our core players, but on a national level, on a regional level, on a much bigger level, and this is what we're now focusing on, at least here for the MENA region, you know, and it, you know, it's not easy because the region in general is behind the West or the East when it comes to gaming, so yet alone esports, and to be able to create that fandom, to be able to properly unleash it, you need to start from scratch. You know, you need to create awareness around the game. You need to highlight players. You need to create stars out of players. You need to you need to have proper roadmaps. And I mean, the journey is really, really long. But that's what we're aiming for. You know, ultimately, my dream would be to see a regional team from here on the big stage and win. You know,
didn't GK Esports team from here? Didn't they just beat Fnatic?
Yeah, so yes, there's a super
I heard that, and I wasn't 100% sure of all the details, so maybe you could fill us in with that a little bit.
so hear me out here, right? So GK fans and GK, if you're listening to this, please don't hate me. You know how much I love you. You know, we work together and everything, but hear me out. I'm super proud that they've beat Fnatic. You know, that's a big thing for the region. And I think Team Riot in Egypt beat Ascent yesterday as well. So that's 2 Arab teams beating a European, an EMEA team.
Yeah.
But it was a best of 1, to be fair. It wasn't a best of 3. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I know that if I'm going to go all out and like flex and say, yeah, MENA beat EU, I'm going to have the critics come and say, yeah, but it was a best of 1. So I'm like, I'm preparing for the word. It was a best of 1, but
Fnatic could have had a bad map, or
we still won, but for the haters out there, it was a best of 1. We'll give you that.
Yeah. Amazing. So in that tournament, are they doing like another round? Have GK gone through to the next round of that?
Yeah, so I believe the format they chose is like you have all the teams playing like 7 games or something like that with a pointing system, and you get like, based on that, you get to quarterfinals and then semi. I think they're playing the quarterfinals today.
Okay.
And we have some teams that got eliminated, and then semifinals and then the finals. They went with a different type of format. It's an off-season standalone tournament,
Yeah.
So
you guys still support it, but it's not like run by you.
Yeah, so it's not run by us. So we do a lot of this. So there's different ways to look at it. There's some where it's a licensed kind of event. Then there's our own roadmap, our own esports, our own league, and then there's like third parties that would come up and do like community events. Like a PC cafe would call us, and where we can support, we support. Be it unlocking certain things, or helping them out, or giving them brand assets, or guiding them in the right direction on how to communicate. But yeah, we have to support. We're one region, and we can't do this whole thing by ourselves. We need the community.
Of course.
No, it makes sense. We definitely want to start running some tournaments, so we'll let you know.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get. So just continuing with my Google research of where esports was, and kind of we're almost out of like where it is now in this little line.
Yeah.
So moving into 2011, which was when Twitch actually opened their doors, and they managed to get like 10 million people within the first 6 months actually getting on Twitch and watching content, which I think is quite cool.
Are you talking about Twitch when it came out of Justin TV, or are you talking about 2011 when it was Justin.tv? Because there was a platform called Justin.tv which became Twitch. So Justin.tv is like the OG, that's what Asmongold, for instance, one of the biggest streamers in the world, came from Justin.tv, and then Justin.tv became Twitch. But yeah, like if you want to take the year 2011, it's definitely a milestone. I think that it really helped accelerate a lot of things. The unfortunate part is that it was very focused on very key regions. So the reach it wasn't a YouTube.
Yeah.
And it wasn't accessible as YouTube. But they've come a long way since then, so right now they're kings of streaming platforms, really.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're streaming these massive Masters tournaments and everything you've got going on, is your main focus streaming it on Twitch?
No, so it's similar to running any type of broadcast, right? When you want to run a broadcast, you need to be where your audience is. Twitch is an obvious one, and so is YouTube. We also stream on YouTube, the same things that you'd be seeing on Twitch. So the whole point is we need to be where our audience is, but we also need to be where the platform allows us to be able to deliver that experience the way we believe reaches Riot Games standard, right? So Twitch allows us to do that. YouTube allows us to do that. There are so many different platforms that we potentially can't use for obvious reasons. So, there's a lot of things that need to come together. Where's our audience? Can we deliver the player experience that we want to deliver on that platform? Can we do collaborations with these platforms? And so many boxes to tick. But Twitch is an obvious choice, that's where everyone is at the moment.
No, for sure. So just moving up to 2019 now, we're almost at where we're at now. Don't hate me for this, but the biggest prize pool in the world at the time, $33 million to Dota 2, which is pretty insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, prize pools are going up and up and up, but I still think 33 million is probably still the highest, I reckon.
It does jump up from winning a subscription to Rolling Stone in 1972.
Yeah.
So look, the thing with Dota, I'm not. It's no secret. I was a Dota player before even knowing what League of Legends was, and I think a lot of League players also came from the Dota, the Dota era. And I'm talking when it was still like a mod and Warcraft. And then eventually became Dota 2. So.
And then the base hunter song.
The thing with Dota is that the way they've built the prize pool, it's player funded.
Yeah.
So they release compendiums and player buy the compendiums, every purchase you make, there's a percentage that goes into the prize money.
Yeah.
And that's how the prize money is funded.
It's almost like a poker tournament. Everyone puts money into it.
Pretty much. And you also have to remember that that's just one mega event once a year. I think it's in August they do it. I don't even remember.
Not 100% sure, no.
But so that works different. With us, it's a different story. We're not focusing here on, here's a big, massive prize money, everybody go up, and it's up for grabs. No, here as a company, we have this player experience first, and we're always focusing on growing players, growing teams, leveling up the industry, leveling up, teams like G2, like Fnatic, like Team Secret, teams from the region here. And the reason we do this is because it helps them grow, it helps us grow. You're building brands, those become franchises, there's money that's being made there. Those are players we deal with, there's money invested in them, training, coaching, psychology, nutrition, etc. Then you have the league. You don't have you don't go to the World Cup. The winners in the World Cup, they get a cup, and they get endorsement deals, and they get all this thing on the side. They're not gonna, the team's not getting, Germany won't get $100 million if they win the World Cup, right? And that's the mentality behind this. We have the player experience first, our partners first, and leveling up the industry as our main priority. And that my personal take on this is, I don't like these big prize monies, because I think that it discourages teams, because teams will start going in for the wrong reasons. Not for the love of the game, not for the love of competition, but for the money. And when you get that money, then you're out.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like that mentality. I think it really kind of negatively impacts.
Takes it away from the essence of
exactly.
competition.
No, well, what I like about Valorant specifically, which is what I probably watch most esports of, is that you have big tournaments quite often. You don't have to wait a whole year to watch the next big tournament. It's almost like every 3 months or something. There's always something going on, right? If it's building up to a big tournament or the big tournament itself, it's all got that same level of production, and it all looks amazing, and you kind of want to be a part of it all throughout the year, instead of just waiting, twiddling your thumbs and go, oh, there's one really big tournament today. So I do quite like that. Before we finish the topic of esports, I think we've kind of covered the past. We've kind of covered what it's like now. What are your thoughts about where esports is going, or where do you want to see it go?
Look, so we are kind of living at the moment. We're getting a glimpse of where esports is going. The same way I grew up watching NBA or basketball, like basketball or football, or this generation, they're growing up watching esports. I do genuinely believe that. I'm not saying that esports is replacing sports. Absolutely not. And anyone that tells you this has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They have, they're both completely independent entities.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it's going to be there. And you'll be able to watch it on broadcast. You'll be able to watch it on TV. You'll be able to, there will be kind of networks that will be covering it. I genuinely believe that it will become a global mainstream thing where people. I'll give you an example. I don't follow the Olympics. I have absolutely no idea who's the best swimmer is right now, or who's the best javelin thrower. But when the Olympic comes, I watch it. I watch it because I enjoy the opening ceremony, because I want to see my country being there. I don't even know what's his name or her name is, what their name are. I just watch it. And everybody, same with FIFA. The World Cup is coming. My grandmother has absolutely no idea what football is. She tunes in and watches and cheers for Argentina for absolutely no reason. I do believe esports is heading that way. And my dream is to see it that way, where people from around the world that potentially has never even played a video game will still tune in just to support, either their nation or someone from their nation or a star. Or
back to what you said, we're good at this. Let's get behind that.
And I would love it to be there. And I think that eventually it will. I hope eventually we'll get there. It becomes that mainstream.
Yeah.
Do you think it will ever come to the point where you have 20 teams in the top league all competing against each other throughout the whole year to find one winner, and then at the summertime you've got the World Cup kind of ones?
Do you think
it'll ever kind of take the format of like a football?
We already have that. It's already there.
Yeah.
You look at League of Legends. League of Legends, we have. So North America, we have a league, which is the LCS. So let's take Europe, for instance. You have the LEC, which is similar to a Premier League, where you have the 8 teams, just competing all year long.
Wow.
And the same thing's happening in Korea with their league. So every
And
region
divisions
has
and
exactly, Division 1, Division 2 and their league, and there's relegations and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been happening for years now. And then once a year we have MSI, which is like kind of a mid-year, the best of each of these leagues come together. So think of it as like a Champions League, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, which is what's happening now, we have Worlds, which is the top seeds of all these leagues competing for the World Cup. So
I'm quite excited
it's
for
already,
Worlds.
it's already there. So it's happening already,
I actually just rewatched all of the Worlds from 2021. I just rewatched them all.
Wow.
Well, not when I say watch them all.
I applaud your patience.
I watched. To be honest, I don't tell my boss, but I usually stick it on whilst I'm at work. On one, I've got two screens, so I watch on one screen. I'll just have it open there. But I think I watched like at least a couple of the quarterfinal ones. Then I went on to the semi-final ones. Then watched the final one, and it is pretty gripping. And even though the games are like 45 minutes potentially long each, between like half an hour, 45 minutes, I guess. But still, like the whole way, you're kind of intrigued because, like, if you don't have played League of Legends before, you obviously start out, and as you're kind of going through the game, you're leveling up, right? Yeah. Which means it's kind of fun because you're kind of at the same sort of level to the opposition for most of it. You might be able to get a little bit better than them, a little bit better gear, a little bit more money. But the whole way through, you're kind of at the same level, even though you're getting more and more powerful, but the other guy's getting more and more powerful. So that whole 35, 40 minutes is literally just like amazing. It's just so much fun to watch. Nail biting, I think, is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, League is it's really an esports phenomenon. Like I think we were having this conversation off mic earlier. You got 45 minutes. Yeah, when you think about it this way, right? You have 45 minutes. That's half time of a football game, right? Yeah. But you have like 6 games per night, and you have millions of players that are tuning in. So here they're watching like 4 full football games back to back, and people still watch it and cheer it. I don't think anything else in the world can give you that effect. To have millions of players watch 6-7 games, which is like watching 3 or 4 football games back to back. Yeah, that's the level of dedication and the level of fandom that we've managed to reach, and I love that. I love that. I think it's great.
Amazing. Well, I think that is our chat on esports done. I'm sure we could go on for a lot longer, but I think we've already been talking for quite a long. What we have to do is we'll just get you on and talk about esports again.
We'll do part 2
in like a couple more. Exactly, we'll do part 2. Awesome. Well, we'll move on. We've got a lot of questions, but I thought we'd just start with, who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Luciano. My name is Luciano Hal. I'm currently the head of marketing, communications, and PR for Riot Games for the Middle East and North African territory. And pretty much that's pretty much it. I handle all things linked to communications to our players.
Amazing.
And social media and PR and for Valorant, for League, for actually the whole Riot Games portfolio, and
And for people that don't know, do you want to give a quick rundown of like what Riot Games is and does?
Yeah, so Riot Games is a publisher. So we like to call ourselves now an entertainment company. Where we publish video games. So 2 of them that are quite big globally, which is League of Legends and Valorant.
Very big.
Yeah, very big.
Huge.
We've also done a mobile game called Wild Rift, which is like a League of Legends for mobile.
Yep.
We have a card game called Legends of Runeterra, which is based off the world of League of Legends. We've also done a Netflix TV show called Arcane, which is amongst my favorite TV shows of all time. Yeah. We even won an Emmy recently, the first ever animated TV show to win an Emmy award.
Congratulations!
So that was a huge moment for us. We were super happy about that.
No, that is really cool. I was going to bring that up, by the way, so we might as well talk about it now. But I mean, do you know like why did Riot Games decide, hey, you know what, we're going to make a TV show, and not only make a TV show, make a really good TV show about one of our games?
Look, I mean, we want to be the entertainment company of the 21st century, and if Marvel can have this massive universe and have, video games and music and theme parks and TV shows, why can't we, right? Yeah. We have the ambition, we have the love for gaming, we have a beautiful, extremely complex world, which is, Runeterra from League of Legends. We have all the tools to be able to make that dream a reality, right? And we wanted to do it with some of our favorite characters, like
Yeah.
Jinx and Vi, and so we decided to give it a shot.
And I mean, I'm
Good
not
first shot.
if you're not quite sure about League of Legends, you've probably got more characters in League of Legends than the whole of Marvel, probably.
I mean, I wouldn't say that simply because I don't actually know, but I also know that they have like multi-universes and
Yeah.
stuff, and like
You're up there.
yeah. I mean, we do have a lot of characters, and we do have a lot of lore. We still far from develop. We haven't reached the Marvel level, to be quite. I mean, we have to be humble about this, but
No.
yeah,
For sure. Well, it's a massive achievement. I mean, winning an Emmy. I'm pretty sure it was the first ever Emmy that was based a TV show based on a game.
yeah,
Right, which is incredible.
Yeah. How does it work marketing games in different regions?
So look, it's not easy. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Focusing more on like the MENA territory, like the territory where we're operating. So that's like Middle East and North Africa. We're focusing around 15 different countries.
Yeah.
And I think by just explaining that, you'll kind of get a wider understanding of how hard it is to do it across regions. Because you got different dialects, different cultures, different religions, different. There's so many. It's so diverse that what you might be able to say to a group of audience could be seen as taboo to another. And so it's not really very easy, and there's no like one way formula to do it. So for instance, for our region here, we've had players playing our games for 10 years, and we weren't really in the region to service them. And when we came here, we knew that this is a sensitive topic because we're showing up 10 years later saying, yo, what's up? We're here, We didn't know how they're going to react, but we still needed to be here, and we still need to deliver that player experience that we're delivering.
So you have to
elsewhere.
kind of cater it depending on the region you're at.
Absolutely.
What I was going to bring up, sorry, just about that, how you're saying it's, it's a diverse world and the diverse gaming community. But Valorant, at least I know, is every one of your characters has a backstory, and they're all from different countries and stuff, which I love. I think that's a really nice way to kind of go about it, because if you're from one of those countries that one of the characters are, you can really relate to it.
So this is one of the tactics. See, like with Valorant, because it's a new game, we were able to work around it from the get-go. So Valorant, the way we're doing it, it's a global, unapologetic game, and we are creating agents that can resonate with people from all around the world. And that is one way to do it, because that also helps you kind of have mass communication without really, going really deep into certain areas where everybody's going to be able to kind of like understand or resonate or feel.
And it forces you to do your research into these regions as well, and get things right, and
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool. Now, obviously, you've got two main games, which is Valorant and League of Legends. Do you have, in the different regions, do you focus more on one game over another, or do you just focus on both of them?
So it really depends. It's per region and per office structure. Like for us, for me, for instance, I work across all of Riot Games' portfolio. So be it League of Legends or Wild Rift or Valorant or Arcane. However, we do have priorities per market, and we set priorities. Like certain games might have a priority over another one, and this is usually due to where we at with the game. Do we have servers? How many players we have on it? So there is definitely a priority, but we do cater to all our products, because if we have one player interacting with one of our product, then that player matters, and we need to cater to that player.
Yeah. And I guess you could probably get that person to also play the rest of your games.
Yes, absolutely.
No, awesome.
So, Luciano, what's been the highlight of your career so far?
Oof. Wow. All right, that's a tough question. I don't want to say the wrong answer as well. I don't want to offend anybody. To be quite honest, I think when I created the Nasser Esports, when I created the esports team, I went in blind. Like, I had absolutely no idea. Can we cuss on the podcast? I had no idea.
I don't know.
Have we before?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well,
it's all right.
We'll keep it civilized. We'll keep it PG rated.
I can always bleep you out. So go ahead.
I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. I knew that I had the passion, I had the dream, I had that. I had the vision. I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the first ever Arab internationally recognized team. And I think even touring, like the whole concept of going on tours was new. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd see it on YouTube, I'd see it with other people, I'd hear people talk about it, have friends do it, but I never did it. So when I put together the first team, which was the fighting game team, so I got Tekken Master and Big Bird, two amazing kids at that time, super hardworking as well. We started traveling the world and competing in these tournaments and, you know, racking up points. And sometimes we'd win, sometimes we'd get second place, sometimes like we don't even rank up anywhere, and that's money spent, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest highlight is seeing these two kids win their first tournament under like the Nasser Esports jersey. I think that was, I mean, there's many big highlights, man, but that was one highlight that really kind of like was imprinted in me because it was emotional. It was like we created this together and enabled it, and we made it happen, and we were just like three dudes from Dubai, you know, like half funded, that managed to beat some of the best teams in the world that's been in the game for 5-10 years. You know, like teams like Sonic Fox that's owned by Rick Fox at that time. You know, like it's Rick Fox. Like my dude just beat Rick Fox. Like, and it felt so good. It fueled us. You know, it made us even hungrier. And I think this was. You know, this was a big highlight of my career, really. And it kept me going. Then we moved to League, and then we moved to Counter-Strike, and then we created FIFA, and we started just signing players left, right, and center just because, you know, everybody was hyped, and you know, everybody was like, Nasser Esports here, Nasser Esports there. So these 3-4 years I spent with Nasser was definitely some of the best moments I've had throughout my whole career, you know.
Be like a proud, you know, Papa Bird or something.
I felt like a proud dad, you know, like that's my baby, and like, and then that's for the company. That, like, Big Bird is still competing, and he's still kicking ass, you know, here and there and globally, and I have not missed a single game of him, even now that I'm with Riot. Still tune in on Twitch, watch the broadcast, and every time it's the same feeling. Like I start screaming, I get angry, like win, what are you doing? You know, like I love it, man. I love it.
Amazing. No, I mean, I honestly, I'm getting tingles, like feeling your passion, just how you're talking about it. It's pretty insane, and I mean, what an achievement to be able to take people that have literally, you know, didn't necessarily even recognize their own potential. Yeah. For you to be able to spot that and put them in the limelight.
But it's the other way around. They helped me grow, really. Like, I discovered myself because of these individuals. You know, like I found them and I gave them the opportunity. But this is the same thing I was always telling them, and every player I signed is like, I'm just opening the door. The rest is with you. But what it turned out to be is that they're the ones who helped me grow. You know, because when you're dealing with teams, when you're dealing with players, you got to put multiple cap. You know, you got to be the dad when you have to, the businessman when you have to, the friend when you have to, the shoulder to cry, the hard ass, and being able to, you know, have multiple roles and be so emotionally involved with these players really helped me grow. To be quite fair, it got me ready to be a father. You know, I'm a father of two amazing girls right now, and I think that also helped me get ready. You know, it's just,
and you're now training them to be the next Tekken masters.
No. Like I yes, they're definitely they're playing video games already.
Yeah,
you know, like you know, like Leo's like my eldest is like playing Mario Kart at the moment.
Nice,
but I don't think as a father I would be able to like emotionally withstand being on stage with her, like playing. I'll watch her from home on Twitch. Yeah, but I wouldn't be there because, you know,
it's just reminding me of, like, you know, like when I was younger anyway, like playing football on the sidelines, my dad shouting at the referee. That's like you, but like in esports, you know, like it's quite crazy that's where we're at now. You know,
it's passion. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's football or tennis or a video game. It's passion. You have passionate kids doing something they love, making a living out of it, putting their heart and soul into it. You gotta recognize that. Yeah. You know, you have to recognize it. You have to validate them. It's not because it's not football that you don't, you know. And the second you start validating people for whatever effort they do, be it video games or that's when you really realize that you got something, you know, to work with, right?
Yeah, something real.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love esports. I love gaming. I got goosebumps.
It's amazing. You know what? Next time there's a big esports thing, can we watch it together?
Absolutely.
Because I just want to like have that passion with you. Because I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I would highly recommend you take time off in August and go to Evo, because the experience and then the energy you feel there is unparalleled.
I wish. I'll ask the wife. We'll see what she says.
It's Vegas. You can take her with you. I'm sure she'll love it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's Vegas every year, so I'm sure she'll love it.
Well, to be honest with you, I just found out that I'm going to be a dad. Well, I found out like a month ago, but we told people today. And she's due in like May, June. So I doubt she'll want to go to Vegas with me in August.
Amazing. You know what you need to do now, right?
Yeah, catch up.
No. I mean, but you need to like figure out a gamer name and, print a jersey for us.
Yeah.
Like, give him his gamer tag now.
Daily gamer merch, baby merch.
You got to give him a gamer tag. Like, I remember my first gamer tag was Little Devil. I was like 12. Eventually, it turned out into Grasshopper.
Nice.
So you got to find a gamer tag from now.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. So I have one question for you, which I feel like you probably won't be able to answer me. Right? Riot Games. What is coming up that we can know about?
What's brewing?
Yeah, I assume that you can't, but if there's anything,
no, there are some things I can talk about. So that there's a fighting game coming out. We have Lion and Pool Party. So
okay,
those are games that will come out.
Yeah.
There's it's all over the internet. There's like snippets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
That they were also working on an MMO RPG. So,
okay.
So that's also public news.
Yeah.
There's also we have Riot Forge now, which is like a studio that is developing like indie games and AAA and AA titles.
Very cool.
There's a game we've released already too, which is like Ruined King, and I forgot the name of it. It's the one with Ziggs Mayhem or something like that. It's like a musical kind of platformer. And
is that the one that like shoots to the
Hextech Mayhem? That's what it was called.
Okay.
It's
okay,
like
cool.
it's like a musical platformer. Like you gotta follow the beat, and then it just keeps doing things, and like don't miss the beat, otherwise you die. Kind of thing.
Yeah. That's cool.
There's another game that's coming out that we've also announced, and that is, I think that's enough for now. There's a lot of things happening in the background, but I can't really talk about.
No. Fair enough. You gave us enough. No, it's obviously. I think anything Riot Games does put out, I do tend to enjoy. So anything that you guys have got brewing, I'm always excited to hear about it. So the next time you have something big, though, you can always come on the podcast to announce it with us, yeah?
Absolutely. After signing like 100 NDAs, and I have no problem at all.
Amazing. Sorry, just going quickly back to Valorant.
Yeah.
You got that new agent out, which is pretty cool.
Harbor.
Yeah. So how does it go about like internationally? Do you all like launch it at the same day? Like, are you posting stuff in this region, or is it like one main account that just posts everything? Yeah. How does that work when you're launching a new character and you've got a new big thing to announce?
It's an awesome question. So first, I want to like publicly say it. I'm super proud of Harbor because in my 10+ year career in gaming, this is the first time I actually have kind of like some sort of a footprint in the game, because I helped like consult the the game team on the creation of Harbor and all that.
Cool.
So I'm very proud of Harbor. I'm definitely gonna main him, even if I'm very bad at him.
He does look OP.
And every agent we release, everybody's saying he's OP.
No, but I feel like. I mean, I don't know if this is like a deliberate thing, but in my head, I feel like it's a deliberate thing. You bring a new agent out. They're always OP to start with, and then you nerf them a bit later on, just so everyone can go in, have some fun, get loads of kills,
not really,
make some cool clips about it.
No, that's not true.
Come on, he looks
like a ploy.
Look, I'll tell
he looks
you the
OP,
truth.
all right?
It is pure human error. I'll explain why. We have a vision. We release the agent or the champion in League of Legends. We ultimately do this, and we are excited to see how players are going to use him. We cannot come. There's no way we're going to be able to foresee all the different ways they're going to be using
the creative ways that people come up with.
And that's
amazing.
The beauty of Valorant, is like the creativity that these players have with our agents is unbelievable. And when we start seeing this, we start realizing, all right, you know what? We might need to nerf certain things here because this can become, this can be abused, and then start balancing other agents, or even get inspired for other agents to reach on the same level. Everybody hates balanced teams in gaming across all publishers. What people don't understand is balancing characters is unbelievably difficult. It's not an easy feat.
100%.
So going back to your question for launching Harbor, so the way it works with Valorant is because Harbor is an Indian agent. The priority campaign is obviously for the Indian market, for the Indian region and the Indian office, the Riot Games India. The same thing is if we tomorrow, when we released Fade, the priority was the Turkish market, the Turkish region. Or when we released a map, the map was a Portuguese map. It was in Portugal. So
Neon was probably a big one.
Filipinos. So we create. So the way it's like the mega campaign, where you can go all in, all out, is these territories where that agent or map's from.
Yeah.
But what's good about Riot is that there's a lot of knowledge sharing. So we're coming up with a lot of things because there's a massive Indian diaspora in the UAE, right? So we're coming up with a lot of things, and we share it with the rest of the MEA, with APAC, and whichever region wants to like be part of it or take it and do it there, they can take it and do it there as well, So it's really a global thing. Now, in terms of communication channels, every region has their own communication channel. So we have Valorant Arabia, there is Valorant Global, Play Valorant. There's Valorant India, there's, Valorant UK, and
like on Instagram, Twitter, that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Different handles.
Exactly. And everybody's communicating in their language. So we're doing it in Arabic, and India it's in English at the moment as well. In France it's in French, Spain is Spanish. Global channels are always in English. And there's generic global content that's always going there. Patch notes, reveal, announcement, launch of a new agent, things like this are happening there. We also replicate this but in Arabic, but we also do the regional stuff, which if they're quite big and good, the global team would also replicate it on the global channel for just global visibility. So it's really just like, does it make sense for us or no?
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Amazing. Well, honestly, I feel like we could talk for like hours.
I wish I could stay here forever, but I'm getting hungry. You're hungry.
Yeah,
my tummy's good.
But honestly, like I told you at the start of the podcast, we were very excited to have you come in. Like I said many times, we love Riot Games, and we're not getting paid by Riot Games here to say that. We genuinely do. I like the games. I like the ethos around the company. I think it's really nice. And it was fantastic having you. I've learned so much, and 100% we're getting you back.
Oh yeah,
on this
for sure.
podcast,
I love these things. Just give me any platform to kind of like talk.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we're like, I'm super humbled to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Like, it's good, It's always good to see people interested in this, and this is what we do this. This is why we do this.
Amazing, Luciano, Riot Games. Thank you so much.
Thank you. James, what have you got for us? I've got some new releases again this week.
Oh, I love your new releases. Let me know.
Yeah, me too. I got three notable titles: Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves.
Legacy. That is actually a bit of a tongue twister.
That was tough. Legacy of Thieves comes to the PC this week as well.
Nice. So that's all their game collection?
Yeah.
Well, they got like 4?
5? I could be wrong.
Okay.
Another good one of note is A Plague Tale Requiem. That's on the Game Pass.
Yeah, that looks really good. I put that in my top 5 a couple of weeks ago for games coming out this year. Yeah, that looks amazing.
I've yet to put my hands on it.
The sea of rats in that game looks so scary. It's literally just like you're fighting rats everywhere.
Exactly, and it looks incredible graphically. It looks insane. The story's supposed to be very good too.
Very excited to try that, to be honest with you.
Yep. And the next big one is Gotham Knights.
Yes, it does look good. But we did kind of talk about on our Instagram page a couple of days ago, they're only going to be putting in 30 frames per second, which some people are like, oh, that's too low frames. We need more frames.
I mean, it's 2022. It's 60 frames standard, should be.
Yeah, 100%, especially with new consoles and everything.
Exactly. Next gen.
With the next gen, obviously. But apparently a lot of people who have pre-ordered the game have now rescinded their pre-orders. So
just because of it.
Because of that 30 frames per second thing. They might flip-flop it and go, you know what? All right, fine.
Yeah, we'll just
I don't know how hard that is to do.
Or patch or...
Yeah, I'm sure they could patch it in. But awesome. Yeah. Any more? Is that the big ones?
Those are the big ones worth talking about, I think.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for next week because... it's Halloween. I'm sure there's some new horror games coming out.
I love that stuff.
Ooh. I'm excited for that. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Thank you for your new game releases, James.
Good. Now for some tech updates.
Ooh, I like it.
We're talking a bit about PlayStation. Two big things. They have a nice fancy controller.
Oh, okay.
PlayStation's answer to the Xbox Elite controller. It's around $200. Gives you remappable buttons.
So that's over, what's that, 200, like over 700 dirhams?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remappable buttons, adjustable trigger stops, swappable joystick modules, and fine-tune your stick sensitivity and dead zones to your liking.
I love it. Do they always do like a controller like that for old generation? I don't really remember them doing stuff that advanced, have they?
Xbox they did have Elite ones for the last couple
but not
of consoles.
PlayStation.
PlayStation never did
no.
Because they're already quite good.
Okay, nice. And what else are Sony doing?
Well, they're working on, I'm sure you've heard, their next generation VR.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited, though.
Yeah, PSVR 2. They've narrowed down the release date to early next year.
They've narrowed it down. So, like, hey, guys, so release date information, we've narrowed it down.
There's now a window.
For the first 3 months of next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
it's quite
amazing.
big, but quite exciting. Definitely more accessible to people who haven't explored that media yet.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I actually did have a PSVR. I played on one a bit, but the only game I was playing it on was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which wasn't really like fully VR.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was basically just like watching a TV, but the screen was in my eyes instead.
Yeah. It's not the full extent.
It wasn't exactly what I was going for. Anyway, thanks for your tech news, James.
Very welcome.
I have got your gaming news for you.
Tell me.
First one, nice little story. A Twitch streamer goes from 0 views to 89,000 followers because of a guy on TikTok. He decided to go and make some TikToks about Twitch streamers that had 0 views.
Yeah.
Right? 0 people following, no one was
nice.
watching them. He would go on and interact with them and chat to them, kind of like make them feel a little bit better that they're doing Twitch and they're talking to someone. He found this person who he said it was a sweet lady, and she basically was talking, but to no one. But he said she was really nice about it. He started interacting with her, said like it was his birthday. She started singing happy birthday to him. He basically made this video on TikTok and they said, oh, go follow this lady, right? She's now got 89 million followers.
That's great. 89,000.
89,000, oh my god, sorry, 89,000 followers, and counting, which is incredible. So 0 to 89,000 for Twitch. That is massive numbers.
Really
so
nice. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Also, Roblox say that they've got 1.7 billion users last month. All right. So it doesn't mean 1.7 billion different people are playing Roblox. What it means is every single day they reckon they've got about an average user count of 57.8 million people on every single day. So you time that by like 30 days, 1.7 billion users.
That's a lot
throughout the month, which is pretty incredible. You go against like Minecraft, which is also one of the biggest games, 140 million monthly users. So that to 1.7 billion, I mean, that is a leap.
Yep.
And if you're into your Fortnite Mares 2022, bit of a tongue twister. I like it though, Fortnitemares.
I get it.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, I was just making sure. They've got their Evil Dead event that they do all throughout Halloween every single year, and it's actually really cool. They get like extra creatures coming about on the map, and you got to try and kill them, like zombie things.
Yeah.
And they're also putting in Rick and Morty skins.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty.
Too.
They've already got some, but they're putting them back in the game again.
Okay.
Which is cool. So yeah, if you want to go check out all their Halloween themed content on Fortnite, it does look pretty cool, and it definitely brings people back to the game every Halloween.
Great.
Awesome. Well, that is your gaming news. I have got your top 5 games of the week, and I'm going with Nintendo Switch games specifically.
Nice. Okay.
So I mean, Nintendo Switch is one of the most sold consoles ever. So
I've got one.
Most people have probably got one, and it's a great game because you can play it on the TV or you can have it portable.
Yeah.
I love it. Number 5, I got Celeste. It is a masterpiece, honestly. 2D platforming game. It's a bit tough here and there, a bit challenging, but it looks amazing, and it did really well for like an indie gaming developer. Number 4, can't go wrong with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Have you played that?
Deluxe.
Is it Deluxe, not Deluxe? Is that Deluxe? Is that different? Are they different words? Do they mean different things?
Deluxe.
Whatever. It's obviously a great game. You just race around as the different, characters from Mario and throw things at each other, and it's always good fun. Number 3, Hades. Now, this actually won Game of the Year a couple years ago. Amazing game. It's a roguelike, which I never really understand what roguelike means. James, maybe you can expand on that.
You sort of replay the level, or you keep going as far as you can, and if you die, you kind of start again, but you gain
a little bit stronger each time.
You gain each time.
Yeah. So it's kind of what games used to be like.
Yeah,
which
exactly,
is like
without
Sonic
saving.
Yeah, exactly, without saving stuff. But yeah, so Hades is a fantastic game, looks amazing as well. Super Smash Brothers in at number 2, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Obviously, you basically, again, kind of just all the characters from Nintendo and you're just fighting each other.
Yeah.
Which is always good fun, especially if you've got people over and you just want to sit on the couch and...
just bash some buttons.
Yeah, exactly, mash some buttons. And number 1, can't go wrong. I mean... one of the best games ever. Again, I think it won Game of the Year in the year that it came out. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So people
really
obviously are excited because the new one's coming out next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's face it. The Zelda series is always going to be at the top. Yeah. And they've truly made another masterpiece. So there you go. That is your top 5 games. James, though, you have a special mention.
This is a special mention of something I'm playing with at the moment on the Switch.
What's it called?
It's a little indie game called Potion Permit.
Potion Permit.
Potion Permit.
It's like, sounds like a Harry Potter game or something.
No, well, it's like you're in a little village and you're a chemist.
Okay.
And your goal is to help people with their ailments, and by doing that, you create little potions by.
Oh my goodness!
By foraging materials from the forest.
All right, well, there you go. Try out Potion Permits as well. There's 6 games for you to try out and play on the Switch and have some fun with if you've got one. And that is it for podcast number 7.
7-11.
Yeah. That is a supermarket. Well done, James.
Thanks.
Like it. We are now done, but don't worry, we will be back next week with another podcast. If you want to check out everything that we're doing daily, though, go head over to our socials, Daily Gamer Official. We have that on Instagram and all the other social media platforms.
Yeah.
You can also check out our website, daily-gamer.net. Yeah, so we have stuff on there. You can, if you want to, see more of our podcasts that we've done previously, obviously Spotify, on our website, wherever. Yeah. And, hit us up. We have a Discord as well. You can always chat to us there. We're occasionally playing games, and we just, you can play with us, whatever you want to do.
Any suggestions on topics as well? We can talk about
100%.
anything.
And if there's, questions you want us to ask guests or anyone that you think that we should interview, let us know.
We'll be happy to help.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you very much, James.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next week as well.
I'll see you too.
Have a good one.